only wildlife photographers, or maybe it's just me, have such a thing as a favorite species of lizard. I've had an image of this lizard in mind, which I've been trying to get since 2012. And hard as it is to get this skittish lizard to walk within a few inches of my lens, with its head facing in the right direction and in the plane of focus, the image is made harder because more often than not, I photograph this lizard being eaten by lugger falcons, or tawny eagles, or white-eyed buzzards, or long-legged buzzards, steppe eagles, smaller raptors like the shikra, and even desert foxes. Sometimes, and unfortunately, feral dogs and cats from nearby villages too. Basically anyone with a tooth, a talon, or a taste for the spiny-tailed lizard fancies them. So for the lizard, being skittish means being alive.
So if the middle of nowhere had to be a real place on the map, this place would be a very good contender for it. This is in the Churu district. It's near Chapar, or the village of Chapar, which is 2 kilometers on that way. The village of Devani is about 2 kilometers there. The nearest main road to this place is about 1.5 kilometers that way, connects Rathangarh and Sujangarh. And this place called the Gaushala is the communal grazing ground of the villages nearby, and no one really visits this unless they're grazing cattle.
The village of Chapar in Rajasthan has a Gaushala and a communal grazing ground for its feral cattle. This land is a dry, arid grassland just outside the village. While it isn't suitable for agriculture, it supports a variety of grasses, scrubs, and trees, including the kejri, which is the state tree of Rajasthan. It also has a lot of wildlife, including blackbucks, chinkaras, nilgais, a number of birds and reptiles, desert foxes and desert cats, and smaller animals like the Indian desert jerd that thrive here despite the harsh conditions. The hard soil of this grassland also houses the spiny-tailed lizards, known as the sanda in the local language. These burrowing lizards are found in plenty here. So much so that the entire landscape, when observed from above, appears to be dotted with white spots as a result of the sand that the spiny-tailed lizards have freshly burrowed out. These herbivorous lizards feed primarily on short grass. Like all reptiles, they need the sun to regulate their body temperature. They form an abundant prey base, attracting a large number of birds of prey to the Gaushala. Around 10 a.m., the sandas start popping their heads out of their burrows. They first scan the horizon and then the air for danger and get on with feeding. They get their names from their spiny tails, which is where they store the fat needed for their winter hibernation. This fatty tail is what puts them high on the list of not only predators but also poachers, owing to misconceptions regarding its medicinal benefits. The burrows are also their only source of defense. At the first sign of danger, they scurry back. A day in a sanda's life is busy, foraging, looking out for predators in the sky, preparing for winter, during which they hibernate for 4 months, and keeping other sandas away.
Time I wanted to photograph the spiny-tailed lizards here. Come here every year, multiple times a year, sometimes multiple times a month. Want to show the spiny-tailed lizards in this unique habitat, which can often be mistaken for being sort of dry and barren, quote unquote, which is absolutely the opposite of what it actually is, in my opinion. And I've not had the highest amount of success, like maybe a photo once in every 2 or 3 years. So I've set a camera up here, waiting for them to show up. I have sort of my remote trigger, and I should be able to show you a camera in the background there. Yeah, there it is. And I'm just waiting here. We'll be waiting here for a majority of the day, hoping that a spiny-tailed lizard shows up. I mean, not only does it have to show up, it needs to show up in the plane of focus with its face in front and not its tail, and many things need to go right for the photo to actually happen.
And chasing this image means that all my afternoons are spent at the Gaushala, waiting for a sanda to show up in front of my camera. I set up a camera and wait under a caged tree, absorbing the sights of the Gaushala. There are many sounds that I've become familiar with as well. The distant ringing of bells from cattle, a temple's loudspeakers, the calls of large gray babblers, and the occasional violent swoosh that sends all sandas scampering back to their burrows. All except the one that is hoisted high on a tree, in the talons of a lugger falcon. I've never seen a falcon hunt. One could be looking in the general direction and not realize that a falcon is swooping. That's how fast they are. But the sound of a lugger falcon hunting in the Gaushala is unmistakable. Once I hear the swoosh, it is easy to look for the familiar silhouette on this sparse canopy. It isn't easy to watch a lugger eat a sanda alive. But in the Gaushala, it is hard to not see it. The other sandas don't appear for a long time after a hunt.
So no luck with the lizards coming in front of the camera, let alone making a good shot. But the activity was good, lots of lizards, lots of feeding, fighting, etc. We also saw a falcon kill a lizard and feed on it. We'll now head to other parts of the Gaushala, see what there is to see if there's anything interesting. It's good weather, it's nice and warm, so hopefully there'll be something that we can find.
The rest of the day was quite uneventful, except for this desert cat that came out of a makeshift den before disappearing into a shrub. The next morning, just as I was entering the Gaushala, I saw a falcon devouring a lizard in the distance.
So it's likely that the falcon we saw now is actually nesting nearby, nest which has 2 chicks. So we're going to check out if that's actually the case and check out the nest as well.
Lugger falcons are one of the larger falcons in India. They are fast-flying predators with strong talons and a sharp eyesight. I've seen them hunt spiny-tailed lizards and desert jerks at the Gaushala, but they can hunt down smaller birds and other reptiles just as easily. They are seen in Talchapur throughout the year and nest in the Gaushala during the summer. Their nests in Gaushala are on top of trees, out in the open. While there are larger eagles around that could potentially prey on the lugger falcon's chicks, I don't think any large raptors would take a chance with 2 falcons almost always guarding the nest. I've also seen these falcons reuse a nest that was previously used by tawny eagles. While nesting, the falcons feed at the nest, both during incubation and after the chicks are born. Both parents share hunting responsibilities, and I've seen them share a kill with each other during nesting too. While this is their typical nest here, I was eager to see the other nest because it wasn't on a tree.
So there is this notion of a natural habitat that most of us, especially wildlife photographers, have for animals that they're found in clean, green, pristine environments, and every now and then sort of wildlife busts that myth. Like for example, the 2 falcons that are nesting on that electric pole by the side of this highway. They also have 2 chicks there. Got some nice footage of the chicks. We saw one of the falcons hunting yesterday. We saw them make a kill again today. It's busy time as the chicks are growing up really fast. So it's good to sort of rethink about our own notion of what a natural habitat for an animal is. As far as these 2 chicks are concerned, they grew up in a nest on an electric pole by the side of a road, and that's their worldview. So maybe in their world, the idea of having a nest on a tree or a cliff is unnatural, and this is the more sort of natural thing to do. Maybe something like this with the falcons up there also qualifies to be a habitat short of a falcon.
I could count 3 chicks feeding in the nest, with the adult nearby, finishing up what was left of the kill. The chicks looked old enough to be ready for their first flight, and I guess in a few more weeks, they'd be swooping down on sandas in the Gaushala. After that epic encounter, I returned to the main event, setting up a camera for spiny-tailed lizards in the Gaushala. The seemingly endless wait as I surrender to a lizard's will. And as I reflect on this ritual, I've come a long way from 2012. I first tried to crawl up to a lizard with a camera and realized that this is the best perspective that I could get. I then used a smartphone, and the lizard seemed completely okay with that small device. So I got better at concealing my camera and acclimatizing lizards to the camera being around. And then they started coming closer. I got this image in 2016. This image that I made in 2021 is probably my favorite because it captures both the spiny tail and the skittish nature of the lizard. But such is the nature of this pursuit. A good shot comes about once in a few years.
So I'm coming to the end of my 3rd day at Ghaushala. Nothing to show for in terms of results. I'll be picking up the camera and heading back into the Talchapur Park for a bit. I have a couple of hours tomorrow. Let's see how that goes. Today's been a strange day. It's been nice and warm, but interestingly, there was very, very little spiny-tailed lizard activity, surprisingly as well, because I would have expected today to be the most ideal day for that. It was a beautiful day, still is. Let's go see what we can find in the park.
Spoiler alert, not much came about the rest of my trip there either. There were some close calls, but nothing worth writing home about in terms of my dream image. I did see a lot of wildlife, including a steppe eagle and a griffin, both of which are unexpected because April is really late in the year to be finding these migratory raptors. And this is a typical trip to Gaushala for me. A lot of waiting for spiny-tailed lizards to walk in front of a camera while I photograph other subjects. At this point, I'm not even sure whether I have a specific image in mind, or whether the mythical image is just an excuse for me to spend my afternoons at the Gaushala. One of these days, there'll be a sanda that will walk into the frame with the perfect setting of clouds and trees behind it. The flash will trigger the softest light, with the sanda looking into the frame and in focus, with just the right separation against the background. Will that be it then? I'm not sure, but I have a feeling that I'll be in the Gaushala the next afternoon too, setting up a camera and waiting under a cage tree, watching sandas go about their business.